Hi guys, I'm Dave Chesson of Kindlepreneur, and recently Amazon changed the way that authors can choose their book categories. On the surface, it actually looks quite simple, but not exactly. There's actually a lot more going on in this new system and things that authors need to know before they select their Amazon Kindle and book categories. Therefore, in this video, I'm going to show you what has changed and how you can go about selecting the best categories with this new system, as well as a couple of pitfalls to stay away from. However, before I get into that, if you'd like to learn more about Amazon, as well as book marketing, and maybe even stay on top of some of these crazy changes that Amazon's been going through, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to the right, as well as the little bell icon next to it, so as to get notified when my next video comes out. And with that, let's begin. Okay, so back in the day, Amazon's category selection system was a bit confusing with extra steps. First, you would have to go into your KDP dashboard and choose from a list of BISAC categories, which are not Amazon categories. This is crazy because there are only 4,800 BISAC categories, but Amazon categories actually consist of 11,000 plus on their store. From there, Amazon would take from your BISAC selection and put you into an Amazon category. Then, those that knew of this could use a special form to contact Amazon and request a change of categories and even addition of categories. However, Amazon's removed this capability. Instead, you can now go into the KDP dashboard and see a list of Amazon categories and select 3 from there. Sounds simple, right? Well, actually, there's a couple of issues with the new system that you need to know about. Number 1, over 54% of these KDP categories are actually duplicates of each other. For example, these categories, while listed as separate categories on KDP, are actually the same. So if an author selects this one, they will go here. If an author selects this one, they will also go here. Number 2, over 27% of categories listed on KDP are what I call a ghost category. These are categories where if your book is listed in it, you can't get a bestseller tag for it. The actual category page, and not the browser node that you find in KDP, looks like this for a normal category. However, a ghost category page looks like this. Notice that in the ghost category, it doesn't even have a name. The ghost category doesn't have a category path on the left either. Furthermore, you can't find the ghost category in the category path on the normal way. That's because it really isn't a category. What's worse is because of this, a shopper on Amazon can't even find this category page. They would have to know this special link in order to get there. So, ghost categories don't even let you get a bestseller tag by selecting it, and furthermore, shoppers can't even find that category page in case they want to look for books in it. And I'll remind you too that 27% of the categories listed in KDP are actually ghost categories. Number 3. Another major issue with the system is that Amazon can decide not to show you for the 3 you selected and holds the right to put you in whatever their system thinks without your input. However, they can also put you in more. How do I know this? Well, actually, Amazon's FAQ tells us exactly this. We reserve the right to change the categories of a book at any time to ensure a positive customer experience. The categories you add and the categories shown online may not always match. Your book may be added to additional or different categories to improve the customer experience. So how is Amazon's system choosing which books get to stay in the category and get removed, as well as which books get to be added to more categories? Well, our research and testing has shown that one of the major indicators Amazon's system is using to figure this out is if the keywords you choose as a part of your book fit that category. Amazon looks at them, and if you aren't using keywords that you would expect a book in that category to use, as well as other metadata, their algorithm will just remove your book from it. But also, if you have other keywords in there, it might sway them to add more, as they have shown to have done. So with this information, you need to be very particular about the keywords you put in there and make sure that you don't put things that, throw you out of the category. And more importantly, you put keywords in there that strengthen your argument to be in that category. So as you can see with this information, while the new category system seems pretty simplistic and easy to do, it's actually complex, it's a little misleading, and it's rife with a whole bunch of pitfalls and problems. So this brings me to the most important part to this video, is armed with this information as well as this new system, how can authors go about choosing the best categories for their books? The basic steps to this is you need to identify the right categories, be aware of duplicates, avoid ghost categories if possible, and then perform the right actions to ensure Amazon keeps you in your selected categories and possibly adds you to more automatically. With that, let's begin. Step 1. The first step is, when selecting categories for your book, you should still choose categories that absolutely fit your book, as well as gives you the best chance for having better rankings and thus show your book more often on the site. This will become even more important when we get to step 4. For those that have Publisher Rocket, this should be very easy. Publisher Rocket has every category in it. It also has ways to help you navigate and find ones that you might not have thought about. Second, Rocket will show you how many sales you need to make in order to be number 1 or at least in the top 10 of that category. For those that don't have Publisher Rocket, you can go through the different categories on Amazon, searching and finding possibilities, and then start plugging in the Amazon bestseller rank of the top books for those categories into my free Amazon book calculator. From here, you can figure out how many sales you would need to make in order to be in the top 1 or 10. Step 2. From your list, you should check for duplicates. Now, you may be thinking that I would recommend staying away from duplicates. Actually, no. They can be a good thing. First thing about duplicates is that when you select a duplicate, Amazon won't allow you to select another duplicate of that category. Furthermore, if you're in a duplicate placement, if your book sales do really good, then you will show up in the subcategories in all the duplicate strings. So knowing which ones are duplicates and the possible category strings you can be a part of is a good strategy. Now, the only manual way you can figure out whether something is a duplicate is by clicking on a category placement in KDP and see if other categories are grayed out. But this can be problematic because many times duplicates are in different subcategories and even different broad categories. However, with Publisher Rocket, this is incredibly easy. As you can see, Publisher Rocket will mark if that category is a duplicate, and by hovering over it, you can see whether the other duplicates are listed. The best option is when you find a duplicate that not only the other duplicates fit your book, but they are in other subcategories and even broad categories, then your book gets even more coverage. Step 3. Next, try to not select ghost categories. These don't really benefit you and basically have you compete only in the subcategory above it. More importantly, you should absolutely not select multiple ghost categories inside of one placement. For example, all 3 of these placement categories are ghosts, and so if you select all 3, you're basically wasting 2 of your 3 choices and are just being put into the paranormal and urban subcategory above it. And that's it. Step 4. Now that you have a list of possible categories and have checked to see if there's duplicate that you can use and whether or not it's a ghost, you can now select them in KDP. Remember, you can only select 3. Step 5. Next, it is time to convince Amazon that you belong to those categories as well as others you have identified. In KDP, when you go to the 7 Kindle keyword boxes, you should use 1 to 2 of those boxes to put in category-specific keywords so as to help strengthen your claim to stay in that category. You can also use keywords from other categories you didn't select, and this will help increase your chances of being added to more if Amazon so chooses it. For those who have Publisher Rocket, this process has never been easier. Rocket for the past couple of months has been working to figure out what those keywords are that are attached to the categories and list them right here. Now, you can go to that category, choose from the list of keywords, and add them just like that. It's pretty incredible. I would recommend not using all the keywords here, but I would definitely say choose ones that you think fit best for your book and put them in that spot. Okay, so there you have it. Armed with this information, as well as these steps, I know that authors can make better decisions about their categories, they're not left to the whims of Amazon, and at the same time, they can get their book in front of more shoppers. I really hope you enjoy this information and that you use it for your books. And if you would like to learn more about Amazon or again stay on top of the changes that they're making, be sure to hit that subscribe button to the right as well as the little bell icon so as to get notified. And with that, I'm Dave Chesson of Kindlepreneur, signing off. Cheers.